Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Prediction Show. I am your host, Mean Gene, the Sports Machine, and we are getting ready to get into the business, folks. We are halfway through the NFL season, and I got the Kings on here tonight. Hey, no crowns tonight, right? Man, we look a little different than we did last week.
I still got it here if you want me to bust it out.
Same. Rod's right behind the desk.
Oh man, guys, welcome to the show tonight, guys. Look, like I was saying, hey, we have crossed the halfway point of the 2025 NFL season. This week 10. 4 more teams on the bye this week, and let's just go ahead and throw that up there so we can let everyone know. I believe we have the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Titans all on a bye this week. So I think the Bengals are just ready for that bye. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll talk about that game last week, but that was more of a college football game than it was an NFL game for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think it can get much worse than that. You got the Chiefs who are on a bye, like you mentioned, probably need a bye after that loss to the Buffalo Bills. And I don't know if you saw on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's podcast, but Travis Kelce said he's not thinking about anything during his bye week about how they're going to beat the Broncos. He said the Chiefs are pretty pissed off. So you got the Titans who are the Titans, and then the Cowboys. The Cowboys go into a bye week off of what I call a horrendous loss, but then go and make 2 big moves like they're Super Bowl contenders. So the Dallas Cowboys, even though they're on a bye week, are going to find a way to be in the news.
What do you say, Jacob?
Shout out to AJ. Cowboys did it. Cowboys won the bye week. They had their best bye week in years. This was a good. They won this week.
I don't know.
They
won because they're in the publicity. But we got to talk. We got to talk about it because I think there's some differing opinions of how we all feel about these Cowboys trades.
Well, okay, let's start with some of the other trades. Okay, well, first we got like you said, Dustin, some of the bigger ones. Sauce Gardner is now an Indianapolis Colt. You know, he hasn't really had an impact for year this year, but damn, he's going to a first place team. That's got to be pretty solid right there. His teammate Quinnen Williams. He's going to be going to the Cowboys now. I think that's pretty huge there because that I think I don't know. I don't know how Jerry pulled it off. Cowboys also pick up Logan Wilson, who sort of played 7 games for the Bengals. I almost forgot about Logan Williams, guys.
Well, he got benched. He wasn't even starting for the Bengals anymore. He's a bit of a liability in coverage, but he is still, I think he's 29 years old. He's still young-ish, right? And he will be immediately better than what the Cowboys had on the table at linebacker, which the bar was low, but he is an improvement.
Yeah, listen, if you're asking me if the Cowboys defense got better on this trade deadline, the answer is 100% correct. You just mentioned Quinnen Williams, Gene, and I know that's where you're going with this. He's a 3-time All-Pro. The guy is one of the best, if not maybe the best at the defensive tackle position in the National Football League. So to say that, you know, the Cowboys didn't do it right, I'm not going to say that. I guess what I want to talk about and where my mind goes is they traded a first and a second round pick for Quinnen Williams. And normally teams that do that are teams who are leading their division right there in the contender race for a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that Dallas can't correct this and make the playoffs with these defensive additions. I think if they would have won Monday night against Arizona, you could have even had more of a reason to say, hey, we do this. Right. But having a horrendous loss like that and then making these 2 trades and giving up future draft picks when I don't think they're close to being a contender is where I go, I'm not sure what Jerry Jones is doing, but we ask that question all the time. What is Jerry Jones doing? And I think it's more about being in the news and keeping his team relevant than it is about winning. And I know this will help them now, and maybe they're not thinking long term, but do you not think that this is kind of a all-in move when they're really not at the contending level yet?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, look, okay, you just never know what's going to happen. You know, the NFC West is probably going to get 3 teams in the playoffs, you know. So when you look at the NFC South and the NFC North, who knows? But I guess you got to try, right? You got to do something, even though I think the Commanders might be just completely out of it now.
True. And
right now you're looking at maybe a two-team race in the NFC East. So I guess their chances are, hey, you finish just like we talk about in our fantasy football league. You know, you finish 500, you still might get in. I mean, if you're Dallas, you got to swing for the fences.
And I do think
and he is under contracted, for 2 more years after this. So they do get some contract control. So we do have to say that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think go ahead, Jacob. I'm sorry.
They beefed up the 4-3 front, right? Like they don't have edge rushers that are good, but they do have Kenny Clark, who's just a run-stopping mauler. And now they bring in Keenan, who is a good pass rusher for a defensive tackle. His sack numbers aren't crazy, right? But he is a DT, and having those two together, like their front four are going to be better. This is going to be a team that can get after. And when you have Trayvon Diggs hurt, which he has been for the last, week or two now, when your secondary is a bit banged up, which it didn't make a ton of sense for them not to go after a corner after Deron Bland got ate alive. But it's one of those things where they did create some chaos along their defensive line, and they might be able to get 1 or 2 more stops.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see
I think the only last thing I'll say is, and I'm looking at it now, guys. And again, Gene, like you said, there's a half a season left. So could they go on a run? Absolutely. But we're not talking about a team who's 500, who's 1 game over 500. We're talking about a team who's 3-5-1. So when you talk about the Commanders being out of it, the Cowboys are pretty much out of this division as well. That they're not going to catch the Eagles. So like you're talking about a wild card berth now. We'll see if these teams help. Again, I think if they go and beat the Cardinals on Monday Night Football in prime time, even if it was an ugly win, I think you're saying we're 4-4-1. We're at 500. We're going into the bye week. We're making these moves to go on a run. But guys, we got to admit it. That was an embarrassment on Monday night. They weren't in that game. They weren't in that game against the Arizona Cardinals from the start. So it wasn't like it was a close game. They got dominated in Dallas and got to 3-5-1, and then they turn around and make these all-in trades. It just doesn't make sense to me. But then again,
you're right, because
nothing the Cowboys do ever makes sense to me.
The secondary is still going to get lit up regardless for the
Correct.
next 10.
And Dak is not playing the MVP football that he was playing earlier in the season. And if that balances out along with an average defense, who knows where this team goes?
I feel you on that. So, hey, one of the other ones, guys, Rashid Shaheed going to the Seahawks is big time. I mean, I don't know what the Seahawks are trying to do, but Sam Darnold, give this man another target. Good Lord, he's already throwing the ball to every damn body on the team. I thought that was pretty good.
My favorite trade of the deadline. I thought that giving Sam Darnold a deep threat. Sam Darnold can uncork it. People don't really give him a lot of respect in that regard, but Sam Darnold can uncork it and throw it downfield. And I think Shaheed gives that offense a completely different aspect, because now you can't just double team JSN every single play. Like Rashid Shaheed has to be respected. He was good with Derek Carr. He was incredible when Derek Carr was slinging for them and was healthy. I think Shaheed gives the Seahawks. They might win the NFC.
I think this NFC West race is going to be one of the most, and I'm specifically talking about Rams and Seahawks. I'm sticking to those two teams. I think the 49ers are there, but I don't think they have what the level of height that the Rams and the Seahawks do as far as if they play their A game. I think this past week, Gene, was the first week where I've always been picking the Rams to win this division. And I know it was Washington on Monday night, and Washington's kind of fallen off this year. But to see what Jacob said, Sam Darnold, 4 touchdowns in the first half, that defense flying around the way it flew around, that was the first time I was like, wow, this team is not just a playoff team. This team, like Jacob just said, is a legit contender to win the NFC.
Absolutely.
And when you add a speed weapon like Shaheed, that only makes them more dangerous. This is a team that we got to watch going down the stretch. And again, J.J. McCarthy had a good week against the Lions, so you got to say that. But the Vikings got to be sitting back going, we had that guy last year.
I know it,
walk
man.
out of the building.
Yeah, you know how we've been talking about that all year, man. Sam Darnold is just really impressing me. But guys, here we go. We got Patriots and Broncos.
Let me mention one thing, Gene. Hang on. I don't mean to cut you off, but there's 2 trades that we didn't mention, and this team does it every year. And I think they're under the radar moves because we don't know if they're going to be healthy. But the Eagles continue to add veterans. They add a Jair Alexander. They add a Jaleb Phillips pass rusher from Miami, who I think is a very good pass rusher. This is the Eagles team they're in first place, and we've all said though, they're just not really the Eagles that we're used to seeing. Like, we're not sure if they're ready to make this back-to-back and try to defend their championship. I think those 2 moves really help their defense. And those are and again, they may not be superstar moves. Jalen Phillips, I think, is one of the best pass rushers in the league. So adding that, Jair Alexander, we'll see about his health. But Howie Roseman, man, he always finds the way to make those moves at the trade deadline.
And believe me, I tell you what, when Dallas thought they were going to steal the Thunder, man, the Eagles just quietly just went in there like, oh, like, well, hey, Lee Corso, not so fast, baby.
Yeah, and we mentioned Sauce earlier, but we got right into the Cowboys. What do you guys think? That's 2 first. I know he was locked up through 2030, so Jets fans are kind of like, why are we trading him away? But I think, like you said, Gene, Sauce has been a little down. He's still a great corner. Mm-hmm. But if you can get 2 first-round picks when you're a team who's trying to basically rebuild, I think that's a good move for the Jets and a good move for the Colts. I think that's a win-win trade.
And Aaron Glenn pretty much said the same thing. He was okay with trading Sauce Gardner, knowing that, you know, he got these draft picks. So, and it appears that the Jets are going to let this guy build his team because, I mean, there's nothing to gain this year, right? We all know that. So I like that move. And as long as Aaron Glenn was buying in on that, which I'm sure he was, it appears that they're going to let him bring in the type of team he wants. So they just got to get that quarterback in, right?
And Jacob, if you're the Colts, you're basically saying we're going all in trying to win a Super Bowl to give up 2 first-round picks. And I think it also says, I think one thing people are not mentioning, it says that they're committed to Daniel Jones long-term, because if you're trading 2 first-round picks, you're not thinking about a quarterback in the future. You're saying Daniel Jones is our guy for years to come.
Yeah, so you've got Dimes on a 2-year contract, right? So they bring Sauce in to be a closer. One of the things you did not see it against the Steelers. I've seen a lot of people talk about how, you know, the Steelers beat the dog water out of the Colts and this, that, and the other. And quite frankly, the Steelers had 5 turnovers and won by 7 points. Mm-hmm. That is not what this was. Danny Dimes had a bad night, and that is the only reason the Colts lost, right? But in games previous, one of the things that has afflicted the Colts really badly is at the back half of the game, their secondary falls apart. They brought Sauce in to be a closer. One of the things that Sauce has been very good at since entering the league is being a closer. He was on the Jets. The Jets are a nightmare. Aaron Glenn's getting his rebuild right. They have to get that offense right because they cannot score points to keep up with teams except for their one dub. They had a great game, scored 41 or whatever it was. But so they trade to the Colts. The Colts get a closer. So the Colts defense immediately gets improved, right?
That's a lot of draft capital, though.
It is. And to your testament, right? Like they are going all in on Danny Dimes. But you look at it, right? In the NFL right now, you have a top quarterback. You have the number 2 running back. You have what is a top 8 receiving core right now. You have a defense that has already been pretty good this season. You have a good special teams unit. You bring in one of the best corners and somebody which on the business side of things, which doesn't matter, right? But on the business side of things, Sauce Gardner sells tickets, right?
He does.
Sells merch. Like you're going to make money off of this whole ordeal, which is great for the Colts. But you immediately improved this defensive unit that was already pretty good. And what you did was you increased your value in one of the aspects of the defensive scheme that you had faltered on so far this season. I think it was an A+ move for the Colts. Do I think that we could see them fall apart here, 3-4 years, right? Like they suck for a couple years because of this. Yeah, possibly. But
what one word answers, is this enough for you guys to put them above the Bills or the Chiefs or teams like that in the AFC?
Not right now.
Above the Chiefs. Yeah, I already had them above the Chiefs though.
Maybe above the Chiefs. Not right now though. I mean, but hey, somebody, there's always a new guard every year.
There is.
It depends on how these playoffs, home field advantage and all that stuff pans out. But hey, guys, let's get on into this. I see we got Rob. Rob is on. What's up, Rob? Raiders got the Thursday night game. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But just real quick, guys. Patriots and Broncos, hottest teams in the NFL, both with 6-game winning streaks. How about that? The NFL is going to return to Germany with the Colts and the Falcons. Then last year, Dustin, you remember the Panthers defeated the Giants over in Munich.
Yeah.
And this particular game is going to be played in Berlin. So having said that, man, let's jump right on in, guys. Thursday night.
Now, hold on. No, Jacob.
Wait, whoa.
We're acting like Gene's never hosted this show before. What is going on right now?
Whoa.
And listen, and Jacob and Gene's got something to show this week, and he don't even.
Well, I do, guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. Whoa. Okay,
so listen, give me props. I'm trying to give you props, so at least I looked out for you.
I'm just look here because we got to talking so much about the action, the trades. I'm ready to get into the games already. All right, let's back this up because we might have people who have never watched our show here on YouTube, and it is a weekly prediction show, which means we pick every game that's going to be played. We just talked about the 4 teams that are on a bye, and I'll just go ahead and let you know again there. That's the Cowboys, Bengals, Chiefs, and Titans all on a bye. But now what we do here on this particular show, guys, is that we have some fun with this. We have what we call our locks, which looks like this. And anytime one of the guys lock a team, it comes with a little sound effect too. So you hear that drum roll, you know that we just pretty much locked that pick for this week.
I mean, we might as well put my name on that graphic because I'm
I know because you're killing it on that. But the other fun one we have is called the upset of the week. And let me tell you, did Mean Gene get one last week, baby? As a matter of fact, I did the twofer, but we'll talk about that because now we are going to look at our grades. Okay, yes, we do keep receipts on this show because we have to. Now, I don't know, and I know there's so many choices for prediction shows because if you're a gambler, you play your office pool, this, that, and the other, you're gonna listen to us, you're gonna listen to 10,000 other ones. But a lot of guys would just make picks, but they won't show you their records. Okay, this is our standings through the entire year, through 9 weeks of NFL football. And look at the Sports Kings here. Dustin Pfeiffer is killing it this year. Dustin is 15-0 on his locks of the week. Last week he went 10-4. How about that, Dustin?
That's a strong week. I'll take that.
Strong week, lock 2, and you're 1 for 1 on the upset. But look at that overall record. Dustin is 90-44. So if you're not winning money off Dustin, then shame on you. Okay, Jacob, right there with him. Look at that. 87 wins, 47 losses, right? 3 games behind Dustin there. But I mean, look at last week his locks were 2-0, 9-5.
He took some chances last week.
He did. We said that either me and you, Dustin, were because we almost had similar picks.
Yeah.
We said that that Jacob was either gonna beat us but he didn't do bad. He didn't do bad there.
Could have been worse.
And there's Mean Gene, right? Look,
good week, Gene.
A couple of weeks ago, it wouldn't have been a good time to tune into this show because I would have had you filing bankruptcy, okay? Because I picked everything. I was 2-12, but since that 2-12 record, I have turned it around. Okay, look, last week I think I was 11-3. This week I'm 11-3. Look at those locks, baby.
4-0. That's 4-0. That's strong.
4-0, and then the one upset of the week, which was the Steelers over the Colts, which I just didn't feel that Pittsburgh was going to lose back-to-back home games. But I'm 85, and what is that, 49 or something like that?
That is 85 and 45. I'm sorry, 85 and 49. You're right.
Okay, 49. Yeah, 85 and 49.
We're all within 5 games of each other. That's pretty strong through 9 weeks.
That's pretty good. I mean, so we basically know what the hell we're talking about. Okay, we're going to get these picks right here. So that's an incredible week there for everybody. And here we go again, getting ready to do it again, guys. Now let's do it. Let's do it on the screen here. All right, I know Rob has been waiting on this forever. Is this the first Raiders primetime game? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the only primetime game for the Raiders. But anyway, it is going to be a big primetime game. You have the Raiders at the Broncos, Thursday Night Football. Raiders trade Jacoby Myers. Now, they left with 2 rookie wideouts. They haven't really done much, but they do pick up Tyler Lockett. So that's pretty cool. Brock Bowers appears to be back, guys. Broncos just keep on finding ways to win. I mean, look,
Yeah.
And can I throw this one thing out there before we make our picks? The Broncos have lost 10 straight primetime games versus divisional opponents. I'm just saying, okay?
Okay.
It's my job to give you all of this stuff, right? Okay. So having said that, Jacob Meadows, who do you like in this matchup?
So if you gamble off of anything I say on this show, avoid this one. This is not a confident pick whatsoever. My heart says upset, but my mind says I have to take Denver because they're 7-2. I'm sorry, Bobby. The Raiders have not been good. I do think Brock Bowers has a great game. I think Brock Bowers is the reason that if the Raiders do win, it's going to be on the heels of Brock Bowers. I just think that Denver gets it done. I will say good teams win, great teams cover. If you're gambling, bet the spread. Right, Raiders all the way in the spread's a 9.5-point game, but I'm taking Denver to win.
Well,
All
listen,
right.
I've said it for a while. Like, I mean, Denver obviously is for real, but Sunday just again kind of goes to show you that are they in that elite tier yet? Because they almost let a Davis Mills led Houston Texans team
Don't disrespect
beat them.
Dougie.
I'm not trying to disrespect Davis Mills and Jacob. I'm sorry, but if you're trying, and they won the game, so they handled business. But if you're trying to be considered with the Bills and, as Jacob says, the Colts, like those are games, especially when CJ Stroud goes out, that you should win better than having to win with the field goal at the buzzer. So listen, I wasn't impressed by them. With that being said, the Raiders are just a turnover machine. So I'm going to show these people how the show works right off the bat, Gene. So go ahead and put the lock on the screen, because I tend to disagree with Jacob. I know Jacob's saying Denver's going to win, but look at that spread. I think this is a blowout. I think Denver's, and I'm not even a Denver fan, but I think they're going to walk the dog. They're 4-0. They're 4-0 at home. And the one thing, Brock Bowers might have a good game, but the one thing we can count on is Geno Smith throwing interceptions. And this defense is good enough to create turnovers. So lock it in. My undefeated locks. I'm telling the listeners right now, I'm 15-0. Lock it in. The Denver Broncos with the big win over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, man. Now, that stat about primetime losses to the division, it might be over. And it looks, but it's just something about the Raiders and these divisional opponents, man. These divisional games. Look, we just saw who was it? Got knocked off. Was it Buffalo a couple of weeks ago? I mean, these divisional games, man, they mean a whole lot. But I hear what you're saying. I don't know. The Tyler Lockett thing does look pretty good for the Raiders. But man,
and they got rid of a weapon. You just said it. Getting rid of Jacoby Myers. That's a weapon they lose.
So. Yeah, they lose Jacoby, but I mean, and I mean, I'm not saying that Tyler Lockett is Jacoby Myers, but look, I mean, they did what they had to do. This game is in Denver, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm taking the Broncos in this one. I picked
the Genty. They just can't get this guy going. I mean,
I'm really disappointed that they can't get Genty going. I was hoping that this game was going to be at Allegiant Stadium, but no, I got the Broncos.
Sorry, Bobby.
I got the Broncos to take this one.
But listen, Bobby agrees with us. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. Facts. Geno will give one away. Geno might give 1, 2, 3 away. It's not just one. He is a turnover machine.
And it's so unfortunate. So I'm sure the Raiders will be looking for a quarterback in a very, very near future. Okay, guys, here we go. This next matchup here, as part of the league's commitment to play in the regular season games in Germany. I know Dustin really don't like this. The NFL will continue its international slate of games with the first ever regular season game in Berlin. As the Falcons, the 3-5 Falcons meet the Indianapolis Colts 7-2. They're going to play this at Olympic Stadium in Berlin. Now, guys, I'll give you a little bit of history on Germany. I never went to Berlin, but while I was stationed in the Army, one of my jobs were to actually guard the border that basically separated East Germany from West Germany. Of course, we no longer have that. You remember the Cold War and all of that when they tore the wall down. So
tear down that wall.
A little history there. But anyway, let's get into this game because the Colts are a little bit pissed. I mean, look, both teams are playing on foreign soil, so I don't see any home field advantage in this game here. But I think the Colts are a little bit pissed that Pittsburgh kind of, like you said, Jacob, you called him Danny Dimes. Well, before that loss, he was pretty much playing like Indiana Jones. So, Dustin, who you like in this matchup?
If this game was in Indy, I might do the unthinkable and throw up the lock again, but I'm not going to since it's on foreign soil. And what those games can get a little weird. Yeah, but to quote Tom Petty, the Falcons are free falling. They are falling. What y'all like that? Y'all like that?
Like
Jacob,
that.
You like that? Listen, Listen, these guys, and I'll give them a little bit of credit. They played close in New England last week. They had a chance to maybe win that game, but I don't know if that's 3-4 losses in a row now. Penix is still up and down. I just don't like what the Falcons are doing. I think we talk about coaches Mike McDaniels, these coaches, the next coach that's on the hot seat that's probably on the way out is Raheem Morris, because this is just not going well in Atlanta. And I think that this is going to end up costing him his job. They have the Colts, and then they have the Panthers, who they lost to 30-0 the first time. So not a good situation for the Falcons right now. And you're right, Gene. The Colts are going to be pissed off. I mean, yes, they only lost by 7, but 5 turnovers in that game. That's not the style of football they played all season. So I'm not locking it in because it is in Germany, but I do expect the Colts. That 6.5 is tempting for me to take that for the Colts, because I think they're going to play pretty angry, and they're going to have that energy that Jacob mentioned with Sauce Gardner on the sidelines. So give me the Colts to get a win.
I'm going to take the Colts too. I like the Colts to get this game. Jacob?
I'd struggle more with this pick if I could understand the Falcons. I don't get why the run game sucks. Sometimes Bijan just doesn't get used. Blows my mind. It's like Drake London's their only receiver. Give me the Colts to win this one. I like the Colts. It pains my soul because they're in the AFC South, but Colts are a machine. Last week was an anomaly, right? Danny Dimes is going to dime it up. I don't think Atlanta has an answer. I'd love for it to be a great game, but I'm kind of with Dustin on this one. I think I would probably take the Colts on the spread as well. So Colts.
Yeah.
All right, guys, moving it right along. The New Orleans Saints, 1-8. Oh my goodness! At the Carolina Panthers, 5-4. Amazing win versus Green Bay last week. The Carolina Panthers. Now the question is, Dustin, can they improve to 6-4 in the NFC South? We already talked about the Saints trading Shaheed. And they also traded an offensive lineman, which was shocking when you're starting Tyler Shutt. How can you afford to give up an offensive lineman when you need everything for a young quarterback?
Yeah, so the answer is hell yes they can. Look who they're playing. They're playing the New Orleans Saints. I mean, so this is more about the Saints than it is the Panthers. But listen, give y'all a quick little stat here. Did you know that Panthers win was the second biggest upset spread-wise in the history of this organization? The first one was 30 years ago in their very first season when they beat the San Francisco 49ers. They were a 13.5, sometimes 14-point underdog at Green Bay, and they go on the road, who some consider the best in the NFC, some consider maybe one of the top teams in the NFL, and beat them 16-13. So I know it was an ugly game. It wasn't pretty football for people to watch, but for a team to go on the road as a 2-point underdog in a historic place like that at Lambeau Field was one of the more impressive things I've seen from the Panthers in a long time. And that's coming off of them getting beat by 30 against the Buffalo Bills the week before. That shows me that this team in this locker room has the resiliency and the grit to bounce back from a big loss like that. And it's just impressive to see. And I mentioned it off air. They've got some momentum. They're coming back home to play the 1-8 Saints. Then they play the Falcons, who they've already beat 30-0. And then they have a bye week. So they have a chance, if they really want to get in this playoff hunt, if they win those 2 games and get to 7-4 before the bye week, we really will start talking about the Panthers. And I think it starts this week. Like you said, Gene, the Saints trade away one of their best offensive weapons. They trade away an offensive lineman. The Panthers are getting healthier. They're getting 2 starting offensive linemen back this week. Rico Dowdle is now the bell cow back there, who is probably running, besides Jonathan Taylor, probably is the best running back in the league. And I think the Panthers are going to keep it going and get to 6-4. And I'm going to test this, Gene. You know what? I'm doing it. Put the lock on the screen. This will be my biggest lock test of the year, because the Panthers, who have been pretty bad the last 6 or 7 years, putting them in a lock situation is dangerous. But lock it in. I'm taking the Carolina Panthers to beat the New Orleans Saints.
Woo! All right. I'm not going to do the lock, but I do like. I'm really happy for the people in Carolina. I haven't been there in a while. I need to get back up there.
You do.
But I do think this is a great opportunity. And when you play a team like this, Rashid Shaheed didn't surprise me. But who the hell gets rid of an offensive lineman when you got a rookie quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, who can afford to give up an offensive lineman, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I think, hey, I hope they beat the brakes off of them, because the Saints are the Saints are horrible. And I think, who is it, Mickey Loomis, that's been doing the
Yeah.
Willing and Dylan down there for years. I mean, I never hear his name come up for, like on the hot seat. But, man, the Saints are horrible. You got to figure the fans are going to be coming after them, Jacob.
This might be the first time all year, Gene, that you picked the Panthers to win.
Yep, I think so.
I got them.
Hey, I'm officially on the bandwagon.
Let's go, Jacob.
Hey, look at the Jonathan Stew, right? I'm all about the Panthers. Put the lock on the screen. I have them beating the dog piss out of the Saints.
That's dangerous when you use that quote, because the last time you used that quote,
I know.
So well.
His wrists.
Are you locking it?
I am. I am locking this. I'm high on the Panthers after they beat the Packers. The Packers might suck.
You should pick the Panthers until Jonathan Stewart finds that jersey for you. Well, you got a double rim shot there.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out Jonathan Stewart, brother. You were one of my favorite players of all.
We got to get him on there. We got to get him on the show.
But yeah, no, Carolina all the way, dude. I'm real high on this team now. Also, the Saints are awful, and the brown bags are gonna come out by the end of the year for the fans.
Oh man, believe me, they're coming out.
And listen, if the Carolina Panthers defense can do that to Jordan Love, I'm pretty sure they can do that to Tyler Shaw. So
hello. All right, guys, we have.
Look at this.
Oh, you know what? Now this is the game. Okay, all right. I think I skipped one, but we're gonna go back. Okay, so here we go. Here we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Texans. Jags huge win versus the Raiders. Okay, and how about that 68-yard field goal by Cam Little, guys? He was flirting with that. He hit that 70-yard field goal in the preseason that didn't count.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Jacob, the Texans, oh my God, in a bad situation with CJ Stroud. I think he's still in concussion protocol.
He's out.
Concussed and out this week, correct? Dougie Mills out of Stanford, Houston legend, is in. Side note, shout out North Texas. Still a chance at the conference championship, the playoff, because that's a big thing in Texas right now. But Texans, it's hard for me to take them, right? Run game's bad. Nick Chubb's old. They don't use Woody Marks correctly. Wide receivers seem to kind of suck no matter who's in. I do think Dougie Mills will play better than he did last week, seeing as how he's not coming off the bench. Give me Jacksonville to win this one. I know it's at NRG. This was going to be an upset pick up until like 3 hours ago. When they gave Jacksonville the 1.5 point favorite badge, Jacksonville Jaguars. And
is it officially over for the Houston Texans?
This season might be lost. Yeah, with the Colts doing so well. Now, I don't think that the AFC South gets two teams in the playoff. I don't think Jacksonville makes it.
No.
They could. I don't think they do. I don't think Jacksonville's a good team. I think Jacoby Myers makes them a lot better. Thank God he's not playing against Houston. But give me the Jags here.
Who you got, Gene?
Oh, I'll tell you what. Since you asked, let me get this on the screen.
Hot damn, Uncle Sam.
Okay. I understand exactly what's going on here. I'm going to make this pick just like I did with the Pittsburgh Steelers and saying that, okay, because the Broncos did beat the Texans at home. Look, you don't get two home games back to back and lose. I don't care what the situation is. Look, Davis Mills was a guy that used to lead this team, so it's not like
lead them where.
Yeah, not well though. That was why.
Where do you lead them, Gene?
Well, look here. He only needs to lead them to victory Sunday, because that's who I'm picking for the upset. Texans.
Wow,
nice. He was good at Stanford.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind. I don't hate Gene's line of thinking, because I seriously considered it being at home.
Same.
But I think Davis Mills having to come in maybe kind of, caught the Broncos off guard last week. They can prepare for Davis Mills this week. And listen, the Jaguars are 5-3. Are they a good 5-3? Probably not, but they're 5-3. They find a way to win ball games. They found a way to win that game in Las Vegas. I didn't think they were going to win. I had the Raiders. Trevor Lawrence came up clutch with a couple of plays. Now Travis Hunter is on IR, but getting Jacoby Myers is a big pickup. And you just said it, Gene. It's Davis Mills. You said he led him. He led it. What Jacob said, he led him right to the number 2 overall pick to get CJ Stroud. So that tells me all I need to know. Give me Jacksonville to win this game.
All right, Jacksonville. So I'm the Lone Ranger there on that particular pick. Okay, let's go to our next game here, guys. And you know what here? I actually think the next game is the Giants. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get that on the screen there. All right, so it's Giants at Bears. Chicago trying to keep that NFC North competitive. Giants have dropped a few. Now, I believe Dable is going to be back on that hot seat along with the GM, Joe Sheen. So I think both of these guys are on the hot seat. This is a game that somehow the Giants need to win. And I know how the Bears are, but guys, the Giants really need to win this game. So Dustin, what do you think here? Let me find this graphic here.
Yeah, they do need to win this game, but I mean, I just don't see it happen. I mean, the Giants are 0-5 on the road. I mean, listen, I do agree that Dayball's on the hot seat, but I don't even think it's about wins or losses, really. I think it's just about the continued development of Jackson Dart. And if they can continue to see him play halfway decent football, then that might be enough to let Brian Daboll hang around one more year and get some more pieces around Jackson Dart. That also could save the GM's job, being that if he could be the franchise quarterback, obviously taking him late in the first round. So with that being said, I mean, the Bears is kind of like the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're 5-3, right? It's weird. It's a weird 5-3, but they got to 5-3. And I said it when the show started, that game against the Bengals was one of the craziest games I've probably seen in the last decade. I mean,
who you telling?
How the Cincinnati Bengals blew that game, I don't know. But props to the Bears and for Caleb Williams for coming back and making a play to win that game. And I think that gives them some momentum. And you talk about making that AFC North competitive. They're doing that. They're right there in the thick of it. And I think at home, the Bears fans are going to be pretty rowdy, and they're going to get a win. So give me the Chicago Bears.
All right, Jacob.
Chicago's got Booby Miles at quarterback, man. They looked really good last week, and I bet on Jackson Dart last week. Right, I took the Giants to win. I really thought they had it in them. I think that the Scat Man going down really crushed the morale in that locker room. And then you're without Malik Neighbors. Darius Slayton's in and out of being injured. They didn't swing for anything at the deadline, which I don't know if they should have. I don't know if they had the capital to do so. They may have somebody in their sights. This season's dead. Dustin is 100% right. This season, the rest of this season is about the development of Jackson Dart and the continuation of this offense into next year when they can put a winning scheme on the table. They're too banged up right now, too many holes. The Bears, if you want to win, put Booby in. Give me Chicago to win this game.
All right, guys.
You talk about the Giants needed to win. It's a game the Bears can't lose. I mean, they need this game.
Exactly.
Look, I had 2 upset picks this week. I've already used one, and this is my other.
Oh my goodness, I'm liking this, Jacob. Wow. We're going to get some games this week, Jacob.
No. This is my other one, okay? Because I just think. Look, I just said that these guys are on the hot seat. So what part of hot and seat did you not hear when I said that?
Daboll's been ignoring that for 2 years.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did you not use the same logic for Mike McDaniels and for Aaron Glenn, and how did those picks work out for you?
Mike Daniels still has a damn job.
So is Aaron Glenn.
And neither one of them won when you tried to save his job.
I never said Aaron Glenn would be fired. I just said, hey, I said he should consider resigning.
Anytime you try to save a coach's job, the pick doesn't go well.
I mean, look, this is okay. I read an article this morning, and when I found out who wrote the article, I was like, wow, this was in the New York Daily News, okay? And Pat Leonard has been on my old Mean Gene show, and Pat covers the Giants. And look, the talk in that town is that both of these guys, they are on this hot seat, and I do believe they should have won on Sunday, but they didn't. They lost. Okay, they lost to San Francisco. And folks are still reeling about that in New York. So that's why that's the reason for my thinking there. It's not that I'm just pulling this one out my ass, okay? I really think that there are some troubles in New York. And I think those guys are going to win. I probably think they're going to win more than the Texans and over the Bears. So that's my logic there.
Okay. All
right, guys, let's move it right along. How about these Buffalo Bills here, right? Guys, you know what I want to say about this particular game here is you got a 6-2 Bills at a 2-7 Miami Dolphins. Now, the Bills are not going to take this game lightly, okay, because they know you play around with fire in your own conference there. I mean, division that could happen. So no way the Bills should lose after beating the Chiefs. I mean, it would be a colossal letdown, in my opinion. And I mean, look, the Dolphins are the Dolphins. What Baltimore came out there. Did we all pick Baltimore last week?
We did.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just how predictable these Dolphins are. So I'll just go ahead and start with this one. I got the Bills.
Yeah, it was some ugly football last week for the Dolphins against the Baltimore Ravens. Let's just be honest. There's been a lot of ugly football this year. And one thing you just mentioned about the Bills, big win over Kansas City, obviously. They're 2-0 after the bye week, coming off that bye. Looks like they've got back on track. But they can't afford to let any game down because they're 6-2 and the Patriots are 7-2. In years past, the Bills had already pretty much had the division clinched halfway through the season, and it didn't really matter what was going on. They were playing for number one seed and home field advantage. Not this year. They're trying to actually hang on and win the division against a hot Patriots team. So they can't look ahead, look behind. They got to look right at the Miami Dolphins. And if you remember, Miami actually went to Buffalo and played them pretty close a few weeks ago. I think Josh Allen's going to be ready. James Cooks has been running wild. So give me the Bills to get a win. This one's pretty easy for me.
I like Buffalo to win this one. I think Miami may cover. It made no sense. I thought Miami would be
8.5
at the deadline. Yeah, I thought Miami would be big sellers at the deadline. They can still get a lot for Achane. I know Waddle received calls. They wanted a first for Waddle. Nobody wanted to pony up for it. Brad Chubb didn't get moved. They did move Jalen Phillips, which hurts the defense that was already bad. That Buffalo is going to win this game. Buffalo's going to win this game pretty easily. I do think Miami may hang on and cover. I wouldn't put money on it, but I do think Miami could cover. They play Buffalo really well. It is at Hard Rock Stadium. Mike McDaniel's safe for the rest of the season, so he can pull out stops in these games. You can try and play upset to him, but Buffalo.
All right. I agree, guys. So who did Buffalo lose to? I'm
the Patriots.
Buffalo lost.
So it was a division game that they lost.
Yeah, well, they've lost 2 games.
Okay.
They've lost to the Patriots, and they also lost to the Falcons on a crazy Monday night game.
Right.
I don't know how they lost that game.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but the Patriots. I mean, now that we see the Patriots are in first place, I think they're the real deal. So okay, Buffalo gets this win. All right, the next one we have is going to be the Ravens at the Vikings. This is actually a great matchup, guys, considering all that has happened to both of these teams in regards to the quarterback position, with Lamar Jackson being out several weeks, to J.J. McCarthy being out. Both of these teams need a win to stay in the playoff hunt. I mean, I know it's early, but the hunt. We're talking about the hunt now. We're not even talking divisions right now, but to stay in the hunt. So, Dustin, man, who you liking this? This is a good game.
This is an interesting matchup, and you got to give the Vikings props because it looked like going into last week at Detroit that their season was going off the rails the way they played the last couple of weeks with Carson Wentz. And J.J. McCarthy comes back, goes on the road to Detroit. They get a win. He makes a big throw to get a first down to end that game late. I mean, that's a huge win for a rookie quarterback. And going back home, they've got some momentum, which it really made me pause and think about this game for a sec. But guys, nobody's really talking about it. The Baltimore Ravens are waking up a little bit. And it's not just you get Lamar Jackson back. The defense is playing better. I know it was Miami last week, but held them to 6 points, created some turnovers, played well against the Bears 2 weeks ago. This team is finally starting to – they're not all the way back at the level we thought they were going to be at, which was Super Bowl contender, but I think they're right back in the thick of this thing. And, guys, I'm looking at their schedule. I know we're talking about just this game, but if they can get this game against Minnesota, they then play the Browns, who are not good, the Jets, and the Bengals before they get to the Steelers. There is opportunity out there for the Ravens to get right back in this race, and I think they know that. And so as good as J.J. McCarthy was on the road, he's still a rookie quarterback who's going to have up and down struggles. I think Lamar is going to get it done this week and have a big game, and I've got the Ravens winning this game. It's going to be a good game, though, Gene. I agree. This is a very intriguing matchup.
It really is. Jacob?
I think Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton are the X factors in this game. I think this is going to be one of the better secondaries J.J. McCarthy is going to face.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember, if you look back to week 1, right, J.J. led that great fourth quarter comeback. Minnesota looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. goes down. He's been hurt for the past couple weeks. He comes back, looks fantastic last week. I have a feeling that it's going to look a little similar to the beginning of the season where he's going to come back down to earth. He's going to look a lot more human this week. Aaron Jones may not be able to get going quite as well. Justin Jefferson may not be able to get going quite as well, which this is not anything about Jay Jettis. It's more about McCarthy and them putting pressure on him and his ability to throw around what is a good secondary in Baltimore now that they're healthy. Give me the Ravens.
All right, it's going to be unanimous. I got the Ravens. I got the Ravens getting this one done here. Although it's going to be a fun game, like I said. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings put it off. It is a home game for them, but I think the Ravens, after that bye week, you get Lamar back. I think they're on a roll.
And we didn't talk about it last week because it was Miami, but Lamar quietly came back and was 18 of 23 for 204 yards and 4 touchdowns. So it wasn't like he came back and said, hey, let me just ease my way back in. He came back and dominated. So I expect him to kind of be on a mission and have a big game on Sunday.
Same here. All right. Shout out to my neighbor game. Joe, Cleveland Browns fan. But hey, this isn't just a football game, guys. This is a masterclass in how to underwhelm an entire fan base. It's like watching paint dry, but the paint is beige and it's being applied by a sloth on tranquilizers. So this is how I feel about this game. Jacob, I'm gonna let you go.
Hey, we could be on Shedeur watch this one, Bobby. This is Jets fire sold their defense, right? They benched Quincy Williams instead of trading him at the deadline, and what was, in my opinion, one of the more boneheaded moves of the deadline. The Browns are going to win this game, I think, and it is going to be awful. This game's going to be like a 13-3 final score. It's going to be terrible. And we might get to see Shedeur in this one, which would be kind of cool. I'm a fan of Dylan Gabriel, right? Can't emphasize enough. I like the O, but Dylan's not very good. He's a check down master, and it's not all his fault. Cleveland's offense actually sucks. Jerry Jeudy's your wide receiver 1. They suck. That is, they need to put more weapons around him, or Shedeur, whoever takes the helm. Joe Flacco sucked in Cleveland too, and look at him. He is the second coming of Joe Burrow. So Browns all the way.
Listen, this is not going to be in my rotation on Sunday, Gene. You mentioned painting. If the wife asked me to go paint something in the house, I would probably turn into Bob Ross and paint the whole house before I had to put this game on my TV. So, I'll try to keep this brief because it's 2 sorry ass football teams. But I'm going to surprise some people a little bit here, Gene. Put the upset graphic on the screen.
Oh no, you're not going.
Everybody thinks because they traded away Sauce, they traded away Quentin Williams, that this is just going to be a cakewalk for a sorry Cleveland Browns team. I am the opposite of what Jacob says. I think Dylan Gabriel sucks. I know he doesn't have anything around him, but I don't think he's like a starting quarterback, at least right now in this league. I think Shedeur probably would be the better option if you're being honest, just talent-wise. But I think Justin Fields and Aaron Glenn gets them somehow fired up a little bit at home to find a way to win this game. So I'm taking the upset, and I'm taking the New York Jets.
Whoa. All right. I'm going opposite here.
With that being said, I'll still be painting the house. I won't be watching this game.
Oh, okay. I'm going opposite with this one.
I'm
locking in the Browns. I am. I don't think the Jets are trying to win a lot of games here.
Are the Browns?
Knowing that they're, what'd you say, Jacob?
I said, are the Browns trying to win a lot of games? Sorry, I'm in a mood tonight, guys.
Look, probably not, but I just think that right now on paper and physically, I think the Browns are better. So that's why I'm locking them in to win on Sunday at the Meadowlands there. Okay. So
all right,
that is my pick. All right, moving right along here. Where are we on this here?
I'm fired up tonight, guys. Can y'all tell?
Yeah, I see it. All right, guys. Now this is going to be a damn good one. Okay,
this is a game.
You got 7-2 versus 6-2. Bucks coming off a bye week, and they're at home. New England wins by 1 over Atlanta in week 9. I'll go ahead and jump on this one here. I'm locking in the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're coming off a bye, okay? And there's just no way that this team is just going to sit around and let New England. I know New England is looking good. I know the Buffalo Bills are also pulling for Tampa Bay in this game. I got Tampa Bay winning this game, and it's my lock. One of my locks of the week.
I'm pretty shocked. Go ahead, Jacob.
No, go ahead, Dustin. I want to wrap the tail end of this one up.
Somebody go ahead.
First of all, this is a really, really good football game, as Jacob mentioned. I mean, this is two teams who are going to be contending late as we get in the season here. Patriots, how about that's 4-0 on the road? I mean, that's impressive. Drake May continues to play great quarterback. Was it close and not pretty against the Falcons? Maybe, but they got the job done. No Chris Godwin at practice this week. I think Bucky Irvin still wasn't practicing as well. I'm gonna tell you what, Gene. This is 2 games in a row we're doing this, Gene. You went with the lock. Put the upset graphic on the screen.
Ooh,
because I am taking the New England Patriots. I think they have stuff rolling right now. I know Tampa Bay is coming off a bye, but I just like what Mike Vrabel's doing. I think he's got everybody on his team doing their job. And I just think it will be a close game. And if Baker gets the ball in his hands, we know what Baker can do late in the game. But Drake May, to me, right now is probably a top 5 quarterback in the league, top 6 quarterback in the league, if you're asking me. That's how good of quarterback he's playing. So give me the Patriots to pull the upset and keep that winning streak going.
Gene, put that damn graphic back up on the board.
Which one?
Which one?
Give me the upset. No.
Let's go, Jacob.
Get out of here. Okay, back to back.
This is my most anticipated game of the week. Let me tell you why.
It is.
The New England Patriots starting center gets hurt, right? Ramondre Stevenson is out. The Patriots backup center, PFF, 3rd highest graded center in the NFL for run blocking, who had a great game last week. Trevion Henderson had the second best game of his career. He got used a little bit more, and they have the guy that stole the touchdown from him, whom I didn't know was on the team up until this game. It's irrelevant. Right. The Patriots run game is the pinnacle of their offense right now. So you get a better run blocking center, which admittedly, he's not the pass blocking center that they previously had. But New England's run game is going to be better. Hassan Reddick is out for Tampa Bay. Bucky Irving is out for Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin is out for Tampa Bay right now. If all of those things stay consistent and those 3 players are out for Tampa Bay, I like New England to come into this and win. They have a healthier team. Their stars are healthier on their team. Their passing game looks incredible. Drake May is a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. All the stars are aligning for the Patriots to make a run. It's the first time in my entire life I've ever been excited for this. But give me New England to win.
All right. Jacob with the upset. New England.
Dustin, I like your pick.
Dustin with the upset.
I like
it. All right,
it.
Cool. All right, guys. This is well, I won't say it's going to be a good game for the Seattle Seahawks. How about that? So Jacoby Brissett is the starter moving forward for Arizona. It seems like Kyler Murray and his toe problems are going to keep him out for the rest of the season. And then, of course, we talked early in the show as part of the trade the deadline on Tuesday. Seahawks just added another weapon on an already potent offense. Dustin, who wins this? Arizona Cardinals 3-5 at the Seahawks. Mind you, it is an NFC West division game.
It is, and I do want to give the Cardinals some credit for going, like I said, going on the road on Monday night and getting a win against the Dallas Cowboys. Jacoby Brissett played good. And listen, I know that Kyler Murray is not healthy. We talked about this in our group text, and that may be why he's not starting. But there is something going on behind the scenes there where Kyler probably could have came back within a couple of weeks, but they're now putting him on IR and rather would go with Jacoby Brissett. That's saying something, and I think that's going to make for a very interesting offseason for the Arizona Cardinals and which direction they go with Kyler Murray because they paid him all that money. With that being said, again, I give them credit for playing a good game last week, but they're running into a juggernaut. We mentioned it earlier that the Seahawks are one of the hottest teams in the league, and going back home to that 12th man and the way Sam Darnold's playing, give me the Seahawks to get a win.
All right. Jacob, I'm going to pick the Seahawks as well with this one. Arizona is doing good. Jacoby Brissett getting just one of those quality backup guys. I think we said this last week as well. But, Seattle at home, Sam Darnold, another weapon. I like Seattle.
Yeah, I love Jacoby Brissett. I do. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's like a Ryan Fitzmagic, right? Like he's one of those guys that can bounce the team and win. Mm-hmm. And I love that. Give me Seattle. I think Seattle is a juggernaut. Like Dustin said, I am all aboard the Seattle hype train this year. I like everything they've done. Seattle wins this game handedly.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along here. Keeping it in the NFC
really
West.
good game. Yeah.
How about this? Okay, so look, what did we do to deserve this, guys? Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt should have fun with this game on Sunday. It's the Wild Wild West, the Niners and Rams. Look here. You know what's crazy is that the Niners, the Rams, and the Seahawks, they all have 6 wins. That's pretty impressive in this division. We've seen this a couple of years ago when I think 3 teams from that division went to the playoffs. And here, how about this fact? Every team won in the NFC West in Week 9. All right, and they were the only division to do so in Week 9. So it just shows you, even that huge win by the Cardinals over the Cowboys, it just shows you how dangerous this NFC West is. And guys, I tell you what, if the Super Bowl has to go through the NFC West, you could put Seattle Rams, who knows. Jacob, who do you like in this colossal matchup here? Rams 6-2 at the 49ers 6-3.
I earlier in the season I took the Rams to beat the Niners. Niners upset the Rams. I don't know how it happened. I don't learn easily, right? Very uncoachable. I'm kind of a dumb person. I'm taking the Rams again, right? The Rams have got to do it. Puka's coming back. The Rams are one of the best teams in the league right now. San Francisco's missing everybody. George Kittle is back, right? Juwan Jennings is back. Mac Jones is starting, which is their best quarterback on their roster. If you were to ask me any day of the week right now, I think Purdy's contract looks a lot like a mistake now that Mac has played so well and he's playing himself into a Sam Darnold contract, which is a totally different discussion. But give me the Rams. The Rams are too hot. San Francisco 49ers, albeit angry, not as good of a team. I think the Rams are going to win this one.
All right. Dustin?
Well, listen, I've been saying that Seattle's a juggernaut, but I'm not. I think we're actually sleeping on the Rams a little bit. I'm not getting off of that bandwagon. I still have them winning the NFC West. Guys, the last 3 weeks, they've beat the Ravens 17-3. They beat the Jaguars 35-7, and they beat the Saints 34-10. I know it's the Saints, but they're dominating people in these last 3 weeks. And Matthew Stafford is back to playing Matthew Stafford football. The guy's slinging it all over the place. He's still playing at one of the highest levels of a QB in this league, and I like what they're doing. And the one thing, like you said, the 49ers are banged up, got a lot of injuries. They barely escaped against the Giants last week. The one compliment I will give them is the one guy, what's crazy to believe, the most durable guy on their team is Christian McCaffrey, and he has carried this San Francisco 49ers team. He honestly should be. He's not going to do it because it's a quarterback award, but he should be in the MVP conversation with what he's doing with this season. He's like top 5 or 10 in rushing, top 5 or 10 in receiving. He's doing it all, so I want to give him some credit. With that being said, I think the Rams are hot, and I think Matthew Stafford's playing some great football. And Puka Nakua's back. They're getting healthy. Give me the Rams to keep rolling and get a win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that pick as well. Rams.
We all did this last time.
To get this win. Yeah, I mean, hey, Rams house? Whose house? Rams house.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. The next one we have is going to be the Lions at the Commanders. What a devastating injury to Jaden Daniels. Hurt his left elbow. He was left in the game, late in the game, when they were down 38-7. And then, of course, the Lions were shocked by the Vikings this last week. But, guys, real quick, though, what was Dan Quinn thinking leaving his multi-million-dollar star future quarterback in a game that was more than decided, which ultimately led to that injury? Jacob, your thoughts real quick.
The only rationale that I can give, and what I believe to be a good rationale behind it, Jaden Daniels has been in and out of the lineup all year. Yeah, they were getting blown out. And I see Dustin shaking his head. It is not a good rationale at the end of the day because their star player did get hurt. But, I mean, getting reps. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't think Dan Quinn was thinking at all with it. You put Mariota in, he's been in. There's no reason for Jaden Daniels to be there. But I think in the back of Dan Quinn's mind, it was, these reps don't matter. We're going to lose anyways. Get out there, get some reps, throw some deep balls, right? Like stretch some of the muscles that haven't been stretched very much this season. Just get kind of back in the groove. And then he dislocated his elbow and he's out indefinitely. So,
I mean, you just spoke my argument for me. he's been in and out of the lineup. So
Yeah.
why are we taking a chance? The guy has been banged up all season long in his second year in the NFL. Why are we taking a chance of ruining this? And I hate to bring up this name, but why are we making this where it could be another RG3 situation? I mean, I just hate it. And the game was over. They weren't going to win. And I know it's about reps and all that. But at the same time, if he's been in and out that much and banged up, then I'm going to do everything I can to protect him. And there's just no reason that he should have been in the football game. And this season, guys, we were talking about them before the season as a Super Bowl contender. This is one of the biggest disappointments, and I know it's injuries and stuff like that, but one of the biggest disappointments and train wrecks of the season. And I love Dan Quinn as a head coach. But this is not a good look, especially when you were already kind of out of it for the season. Save your guy. I don't know what that decision was, and that leads me right into this game, Gene. You can go ahead and put the lock graphic up on the screen, because this Washington season is completely over. And the way the players have to be thinking in the locker room with these devastating injuries, like they can't be having a lot of energy either. And the Detroit Lions, who just lost at home to a rookie quarterback, basically, are going to be pissed off. And if you saw Sam Darnold throw the ball the way he did against Washington last week, I'm pretty sure Jared Goff and Dan Campbell are going to be slinging it all over the place. So give me the lock of the Detroit Lions coming in and blowing out the Washington Commanders.
Wow.
Terrible decision by Dan Quinn. I don't know what else to say. That was
I don't either. And I'm going to agree with that. It's just ridiculous. And Jacob, I get your point there. He's missing reps, but man, he's a quarterback that you already know what he's capable of. He got you to damn near he got you to the playoffs,
NFC championship.
So what more do you need to see? This is your future. You don't leave this guy out there. And look, he's gonna look. I mean, I know it was not his throwing elbow, but man, he's gonna be just scared to death for anybody to fall on that. Even when he gets back from this injury, it was just a really, really crappy decision to leave him out there, and I'm just really shocked. And
we've seen quarterbacks have arm injuries like that before who come back and can't throw it the same way. So you just hope that's not the case. This makes me go back to the show we all used to host on ESPN Radio, Gene, where we had a segment, What the Hell Were You Thinking?
Yeah,
and if we had that segment tonight, Dan Quinn would be at the top of that list.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, it just might be one of the boneheaded moves of the year.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't mind, I already have an award for Dan Quinn.
Okay.
Which is probably
wow. I wasn't expecting this. All right. Okay. I thought I was fired up.
Look, I'm just saying that could come back and really hurt you, man. I just hope this kid is able to recover from that. All right, moving right along here.
So y'all are both taking the Lions. I
do have the Lions in this game. Yeah.
All right, you too, Jacob.
Yeah, Lions. I didn't say Lions.
All right, let's talk about this game here, guys. I'm excited about this game, but
Gene's fired up.
Let me tell you another reason why I may not be excited, because you do know we have a government shutdown, and the word today was that the FAA was going to reduce air traffic by 10%, which means that the what do you call those guys? The air traffic controllers are not getting paid, and whatever you think about that kind of stuff. But it impacts me because 40 airports, major airports, are going to be affected by thousands of cancellations. So I'm just hoping that mine is not
you're supposed to be going to this.
Gene's taking a Greyhound now. That's all.
Well, yeah. Well, I better get on the bus after this damn show if that's the case.
If you do, we need a whole YouTube documentation show
on the
Greyhound to LA.
Good Lord. You won't even get me nowhere near that Greyhound bus, but okay. I'm supposed to be at this game Sunday night, okay? So Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Chargers. I remember going to a playoff game many, many years ago, Pittsburgh Steelers and San Diego Chargers. So they got somewhat of a not so, rivalry when it comes to AFC playoff games. But look, Pittsburgh, big win last week. Chargers, look, they also they struggled with Tennessee. They got the win 27-20, but I don't think that's a team you're supposed to beat the brakes off of when you have an opportunity. So let me go ahead and just take a stab at this one. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. I'm not going all the way out there to see the Chargers win this game. I still think the Chargers are struggling on offense, on the offensive line. And I think the Pittsburgh defense will exploit that. I think they're going to take advantage of that. So
you putting the upset graphic on the screen?
I didn't say an upset.
Okay. I mean, because it would be.
It's an upset.
Well, I mean, it could be, but with that struggling offensive line of the Chargers, I don't know. I mean, but no, I got the Steelers straight up.
Well, the Steelers are an upset. They're 3.5-point underdogs. That's what I'm saying.
Statistically, it's it
would be. Well, then, damn it, let's just make it official.
Put it up. That's what I'm saying. You might as well do it.
Yeah,
You're going out there. You might
then.
as well do it.
Yeah, let's just make that official then. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers is my pick.
Well, let me say this. It pains me to say this, but I'm pretty sure you're not the only Steelers fan going out there, and I'm pretty sure that that's probably going to look like a Steelers home game in LA Stadium, because that's kind of what happens out there with these LA teams. This game, Jacob, go ahead, because I still need to flip a coin over here and decide who I'm going to pick.
You and me both. So I do think that trading for the OT from
that helps.
The Saints is going to help a lot. Their line didn't look that bad. I mean, they've been banged up at tackle all season.
Alt's out for the season now.
Yeah. So I don't know. The Steelers shouldn't have won last week. I'm going to hang my hat on that. 5 turnovers, won by 7 points. The Steelers should not. Danny Dimes gave them the game. I do not think Justin Herbert's going to do that. I think Herbie is playing at what is probably the best level of his career right now. I think, however you pronounce his first name, Vidal, is running like a madman. Dustin, you'll probably have the actual answer to this, but is Omarion Hampton, is he clear? Is he back? Is this the week
no.
Hampton's back?
Not yet, but I think he's probably getting closer, though.
Okay, so Vidal's been running great, right? Keenan Allen is statistically having an amazing season, which wasn't in my bingo book at all this year. Quentin Johnston looked better last week. He's finally back in the lineup. Lad McConkey is a stud. He has looked great. I like the Chargers in this one. It's a home game, which means nothing at SoFi, but I do think that the Chargers have a better overall team. I might eat my words on this, right? The Steelers did look good last week. Right. Steelers defense is good. I think their secondary is a little old. I think Quentin Johnston's your X factor here. I think you can take the top off of Jalen Ramsey and the Pittsburgh Steelers safety core. I'm taking the Chargers here.
Well, even though they only won by 7, I guess Gene and the Steelers fans have to be happy that the defense finally stepped up and played well and created some turnovers. So that's a good development for them. I think this game could go either way. This is going to be one of the better games of the week. But I tend to agree with Jacob. If it's close like this, and I know it's not really a home field advantage, but I'm going to take the Chargers and I'm going to lean on Herbert to make some winning plays with his legs. I think that will be a big X factor. And I just think they can get the job done. It's going to be a close game. We'll see what happens. I think they can get some pressure on Aaron Rodgers, too, so that'll be fun to watch. Close game, but I'm going to take the Chargers to get a win.
All right. Me and Gene, the only one rolling with the Steelers. And Bobby, to answer your question, I should be out there in L.A. on Friday. Look, so if the Steelers do lose this game, I can always go over to Chavez Ravine and party with the Dodgers, with the 2025 back-to-back World Series champion Dodgers. I tried to wait to the end of the show, but since both of you guys picked the Chargers, I figured, well, if you're right, I still need to have a good trip. So
incredible Game 7.
It was one of the best World Series we've had in a long time.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I'm not sure how the Dodgers pulled it off. I really am not.
Well, I tell you what, it was because of one hell of a Dave Roberts finally makes good decisions that pays off, which is something he hasn't done, putting in Rojas and putting in Pages.
Yeah. And Yamamata was unbelievable.
Smart decision. So he
pitched the next day after starting a game like that is unbelievable for me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we got one more game, and it just happens to be the Monday night football game here. The Philadelphia Eagles 6-2 at the Green Bay Packers 5-2-1. And what do my notes say on this game, guys? Because there's always something to be said. Okay, and it says this could be an NFC championship game right here. Preview, so to speak, right?
Sure.
The Eagles defense got better. We talked about that earlier on in the show. You can go back and rewind and look at that. Eagles picked up some defensive players that's going to help them. And, of course, now the Packers are still trying to figure out what the hell happened last week when Dustin's Panthers beat them. So Dustin, have at this pick here on Monday Night Football.
Do I have to? I'm kind of getting in the same boat as Jacob is with the Packers. Like, I don't know what to expect. 1 week they literally look like the best team in the NFL. Like, I go back to 2 weeks ago, Gene. That performance against the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, they dominated that game on both sides of the football and looked like the best team in the league. And then they came out against the Panthers, and their offense could not do anything. Jordan Love was throwing interceptions. The run game was getting shut down. They got in the red zone a bunch of times and couldn't convert. So this game is just a complete toss-up to me. The Eagles, I said it. I like the 2 trades that they made. I like what they're doing. They're coming off a bye, and they look good 2 weeks ago when they played the Giants, 38-20. I mean, that was a good win. This is really right here on the fly in my head. I'm going to take the Packers only because it's hard to see them losing 2 games in a row at Lambeau Field. Like,
especially at home,
that is a place that they tend to dominate. And to lose 2 games in a row like that, I think this will be a close game. This is not a knock on either team. They're going to be there down the stretch. But I'm going to take the Packers to get a win. And listen, Micah Parsons had 0 pressures the entire game last week, which is unbelievable against the Panthers, who were without 3 starting offensive linemen. There's no way he can have 2 games like that. He's going to look to wreak havoc, especially against the Eagles team he knows well. I'll take the Packers to get a win. I don't feel good about it, but I just think at Lambeau, how do they lose 2 games in a row?
So now you understand what it is to not lose 2 games in a row at home. I mean, I think I just said this a couple of weeks ago.
You did. I give you that.
All right. Well, Jacob, I'll jump on in here. I'll leave the last one to you. I'm going to go with the Packers too. I think I agree with what Dustin said. I think, Micah was really quiet. Michael Parsons was really quiet. I think, look, at home, I'm sure they're going to regroup and get this done. And the Eagles coming off the bye is kind of tough to see them losing too when you can prepare for a team like Green Bay. But give me the Packers. Look, the Eagles, they can afford a loss there, right? So I don't know. Give me the Packers.
That's a very good point. They can afford a loss in this NFC East. The Packers can't afford a loss in the NFC North.
Right.
Good call on that.
So, like I said earlier in the show, I am a little dumb, and I don't learn very well.
We're not going to disagree with that, are we, Gene?
Give me the Eagles. So y'all say they can afford a loss. They want to win the NFC. They can't afford another loss. I don't think that's the way they're approaching this. They're coming off of a bye. I think the Packers suck. I don't understand the Packers at all. You lose to the Browns and the Panthers, admittedly the 2 best defenses that they've faced this season. No shade to the Steelers. Jordan Love is not good against a good defense, except for the Steelers. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the better team here. If Saquon can get going, the Eagles will win this game for sure. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball, there are games where he can't, and there are games where he can. And the games where he can, the Eagles are very good. So I am taking the Eagles to beat the Packers.
Are you putting the graphic on the screen?
Dustin?
Yeah, I have upset written on my page.
All right, put it up there for him.
You're going with it.
Yeah, I'm taking the upset here. I think the Eagles are the better team.
I was going to tell Dustin that the reason why Jacob when we do shorts on Jacobs, they get more views than any of us because he always come up with something outlandish.
Well, the reason they think he's high is because he said the Green Bay Packers suck. Like that's a little strong.
I'm not going that far, but let me tell you,
with the Cowboys,
you might see those words again.
You lose to the Browns, you lose to the Panthers. You're not
over 500.
Yeah, I'm on the Panthers. Hey, black and blue.
Okay,
Jay Stu, he's on the wall.
All right. But we're week 10 now, and I think the Packers understand. Look, they got that tie already that could or could not hurt them, and they're looking at that NFC West. And for them to be able to have a chance to steal home field advantage from either the Cardinals or the Seahawks, I'm sorry, the Rams or the Seahawks, every game is almost a must win for them.
Same with the Eagles, though.
And especially, they still got Minnesota and Detroit to contend with again too. So good show, guys. Good picks there.
Going to be an interesting week. There's 14 games. We picked the same. We all picked the same on 7 games. So 7 games. Half the games are going to be different. So we'll see what happens this week.
Oh wow! I didn't realize we picked 7. So look, I'm coming for not only Jacob, but I'm coming for you, Dustin. Okay.
I can't see you that far down there.
I'm getting look. 5 games is not a whole lot here, and so look, we at least we gonna have either what 7 losses, and how many games is it? 14.
14.
Yeah, man, wouldn't it be crazy if we all go 7-7? It'd be just absolutely amazing.
I mean, Gene, I can't see you that far down there. So once you get a little closer, then we'll start.
Oh. All right, guys. Hey, Bobby. Hey, man. Thanks for joining us tonight, as always.
Thanks for all the support, everybody. Keep subscribing.
All
keep
of
liking.
the support. Yes. And
like,
Dustin,
subscribe.
thank you.
Follow
Thank you,
us
guys.
on Facebook and the YouTube.
Yeah,
Yes.
comment on the shorts. Tell Jacob how crazy he is. Keep bringing all the support.
Yeah, we need all that support, all the support we can get. And look, we hope you have a great Thursday night football. And of course, there's going to be great football this weekend. And don't forget, you got to get up early Sunday morning to watch the Colts and the Falcons. If you got to watch the Colts. So they finally give us a good team over there in Berlin. But the Germans, man, they're just going to have a long face, and they're just going to be looking at that TV like, what the hell is going on?
If I can get up early and watch the Falcons get their ass beat, then I'll get up early.
Yeah, I know you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I'm going to do it. So, hey, guys, great show. We'll see you back here next Wednesday. Looking forward to L.A. this weekend, and looking forward to seeing how.
Stay out of trouble, Gene. Stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble, Gene.
I will. As long as I don't hook up with Bobby, I'll be okay. All right, guys. We'll see you next week here on the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Prediction Show right here on YouTube.